Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's DJ Sketch, and welcome back to the channel. And I know I've been gone for a little bit as far as doing regular uploads. So I know, like a couple months ago, if you have been following the channel for that long, you saw the uploads were actually pretty steady for a good while there. And I'm going to get back to that eventually. I just got some stuff to deal with in the meantime, because the last few weeks have been a little bit crazier than usual. And first and foremost, I hope everybody's staying safe out there and doing what you can to navigate these numerous crises, or crisis, I guess, if you want to say that, and the best way you can. Yeah, so I hope everybody's staying safe and doing your part to do what you can to keep you and yours in the best possible position you can be in. But enough about that. Let's go ahead and get on with the rest of the video. So the first thing I want to talk about today is much like I kind of guessed, I guess back on the PS5 video, how there was no announcement about Call of Duty 2020. But I guess more sources have kind of pointed to the fact that chances are we're not going to hear about it for quite some time still, if at all, this year. Signs are kind of pointing to it may be a late release. It could not get released at all this year. This could easily become COD 2021. Maybe. I mean, call it a hunch. But just the fact there's been no mention of it, the PS5 reveal event, no mention of it. As far as COD social media itself, no mention of it. If anything, just saying that, yeah, like there's not much to tell, and that there's going to be a pretty long delay still, if anything at all. And also, aside from that being delayed, also Cyberpunk 2020, or 2020, got 2020 on the brain now, huh? Cyberpunk 2097 has also been delayed again to November now. So does this kind of track with it becoming a solely next-gen release? No, they already said that there's going to be a skew with the current-gen and next-gen. I guess we'll see if those just happen to drop on the same day now, because they still haven't announced any dates as to when the Xbox Series X or the PS5 is actually going to be available on the market. And there's still yet to be a price, even though there's rumors of leaks going around the community. But so far I haven't seen any concrete numbers, so when those are available, when I know something, I'll definitely gladly let everybody else know. And as far as that, so far, there's been no new development. I mean, we know what the consoles look like, basically, at this point. But aside from that, we know some specs as far as hardware, but aside from that, there hasn't really been much else as far as information given. There's still no price point, no release date. And speaking of the PS5 release, they showed off a few games. They actually, notably, the only two, at least that I remember, from Bethesda, being Deathloop and Ghostwire Tokyo. Both of these apparently are going to be timed PS5 exclusives. Is it going to be 1 month? Is it going to be 6 months? Is it going to be a year before it's on something else? I'm not sure. I wish I had an answer for that, but it's kind of a bummer considering that like those were like the two main games. I was like, oh, that looks sick, but also they should be coming out on Xbox, right? Nope. It's looking like, once again, like Xbox just might get the shaft as far as getting exclusives before anybody else, because I'm pretty sure we're all very much aware that like Xbox compared to PS4, as far as getting exclusives for the console, like the Xbox really didn't get much in the way of solid exclusives. I mean, there were a couple totally, but for the most part the PS4 got a way better deal as far as games that it got only for that console, and it pales in comparison with the Xbox. And which is a shame, because also I was hoping to play these like when they came out on day one, but depending on if I grab the PS5 when that comes out, we'll see what happens, I guess. But at the same time, like honestly right now, like I've been playing a lot more Destiny, and Destiny 2 is honestly like, it's pretty tight. It took a little while to get back to it, but even still, it's like now that I'm back on that and I haven't really played Call of Duty much in like the last, what feels like about a month, even though I know it's been maybe like 3 weeks. But Destiny 2 is actually kind of good again, man. So if you still got that disc laying around, if it's collecting dust right now, pop it in. Like, you honestly might be surprised with the amount of stuff there is to do again. And it's not all the same shit, which is nice. And also the update actually did a lot of cool stuff, so there's actually been a lot of cool things happening with that game since they split off from Activision. So I'm glad it's working out, because I thought for a minute that game had its days numbered, but I was glad to be wrong on that one, because actually it's been proven to be a really good time so far. And also, going back to the subject, I know we talked briefly about The Last of Us 2, but I guess about maybe a month or so before it released. Well, it's out now, and so far it's been extremely polarizing between critics and fans. It seems like, for this as far as I can tell, the critics gave it all raving reviews. Like, I haven't watched any reviews except for a couple just YouTube reviews from independent YouTubers, like not involved with a magazine or network, so on and so forth. And it seems like across the board, well, not so much across the board, but a lot of people have had very contrasting reviews, I guess would be the best way to put it. And as far as what critics have been saying, it's all been like 9s, like 10s. I guess nothing but really high scores as far as I've seen from critics alike, really. But as far as from actual people themselves playing the game, I keep hearing the same things come up. People are saying the gameplay is not much different from the original. It still feels kind of stiff in some regards, but they're saying the graphics look awesome, which that's a good thing. At least they have some things going for it. But the other thing besides the gameplay still feeling the same, like it's not much of improvement, that I've heard come up across the board is these two things. The story and ending are not great. It's just like they're just parts of the game that were just not fun to play through, is what I keep hearing a lot. The narrative I keep also hearing is not the greatest, and I just keep hearing there's a lot of disappointment as far as that stuff, and that it gets kind of repetitive and boring, I guess, like however long into the game. I know it's about a 20 to 25 hour little playthrough there, but at the same time it's interesting. It's like I can't say I'm surprised that it's had such a back and forth as far as the response of what this game is and what it was kind of touted out to be. It makes a little bit more sense as to what was coming out of the developers. I know there was a pretty fair amount of crunch leading up to the release, and it makes sense that some of the things that the developers were talking about are actually now kind of coming up to the forefront now that it's actually on shelves and you can get it. But as far as the people, I haven't really seen most people that are just the basic gameplay or whatever you want to call it. It seems like the normal person is just kind of in the middle of the road with it, or they just don't like it. So I really haven't heard anybody from like just a regular standpoint as far as just someone that's just playing the game just as a person playing it. No one's really been over the moon about it as far as I've heard. But I don't know, to each their own, man. Like, you like what you like. But at the same time, I find it kind of interesting that really that critics are going wild over it, but not so much the people that are actually paying money to play it. I guess people that got review copies, I guess, gave it glowing reviews, but it seems like everybody else not so much. So that's something to think about. And why that is, not quite sure, but I guess we'll see somewhere down the line, huh? And also, as far as new things that are going to be coming out soon, I guess Disintegration, the new IP from one of the Halo creators that came out, I guess, last Friday. And yeah, I believe that was last Friday. It was sometime last week. So I wanted to check that out. So I played the beta. I mean, it was cool. I guess it reminded me a lot of that old arcade game T-Mech from like way back in the day. Like that in Cyber Sled a little bit, except you can fly. So, I'm curious to see what's good with that as far as the retail release of that now that it's finally available. And I'm pretty sure that's going to be on everything, so that's not console exclusive or anything. So, I mean, if you saw the beta video, or if you haven't yet, check that out. Or just look it up. I mean, Disintegration has some cool ideas, so I'm hoping they all came together with the final build of it. So we'll see what's good with that. And as far as why I've been gone these last couple weeks, as far as all that fun stuff, so I'll just cut right to the chase. So I got hurt skateboarding. I finally broke something. Broke my ankle, or fractured it, and also like tore a ligament, all in the process. That was, I'm just gonna say, cue of caution to anyone. If you see a bunch of kids like riding around on scooters or bicycles at a skate park, especially unattended, and if you see that they're not paying attention to their surroundings and just kind of ramming into everything around them, including other kids at the park, I'd say just sit down. That's probably a good time to maybe go back to the parking lot, maybe have a cigarette, or if they have benches, if they have those at your local skate park or whatever outdoor recreational facility you have available at the moment, because I know the pandemic has still kind of put a lot of things in a very weird situation as far as if they can be open or not. Long story short, just watch out for people, and I mean, do your best, because I was able to get out of this kid's way once and like was able to not collide into him, which thankfully that didn't happen, because I know had that happened, that'd probably be an even worse situation. But at the same time, the second time around, I still don't really know what happened. I just remember I went up a quarter pipe. Somehow my foot slipped out from behind me. Next thing I know, I'm crashing down on my back leg. It twists around, and look down at my foot. It's flopped over in the other direction. So at least I was able to reset that. So I dislocated it first off. And then second, when I actually got to the hospital and got x-rays, I saw that it was fractured, I guess about a week later. And just had surgery a few days ago, which luckily that is over, because that was a whole other chapter to read through. Couldn't really skim it, unfortunately. But either way, well, everything's good. I mean, I'm on the up and up, back to doing stuff on the computer again, which is cool. So we're going to have some more stuff coming out. Got the review for Control coming out here, hopefully within the next couple days. Just got to put it together. And that's really about it, guys. again, I hope everybody's staying safe out there and do what you can to keep yourselves and yours healthy, all that good stuff. And yeah, just stay tuned. I'll be back to doing some, at least a little bit more regular uploads here on the channel. So just stay tuned and all that good stuff. And I'll see you all on the next one. Take it easy.